Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today these are the 5 pairs of earrings that I will be making. Most of the components came from the August 2022 Bargain Bead Box. If you are interested in checking out the Bargain Bead Box or their website, I will have all the information in the description box below. If you go to that site, make sure you use my code Casey2. Remember that I spell my name just a little funny. It's Kasi2. And that will get you $2 off your first order on their website or $2 off for the subscription to the Bead Box. So if you're curious to see how these earrings came about, then stay tuned. I'm going to start off by what tools I will be using. I'm going to use 2 sets of chain nose pliers, my set of round nose pliers, and my set of cutters. And I would like to mention my tool set. I will have this link down below along with everything else that I used that didn't come from the bead box. I highly recommend this tool set. It is called the Casual Comfort tool set, and it is very, very well made. It is very sturdy, very high quality. And the biggest thing for me is this is probably the most comfortable tool set that I have ever owned or tried when it comes to making jewelry. The handles, the grips are adult size grips, and they're just very comfortable to use. So again, I'll have this link down below. I just highly recommend it. And even if you don't get this pair, I recommend investing in your tools. It can make a world of difference. Okay, so for each pair of earrings that I will be making today, I will have one that's already made, and I will be making the other one with you. So this is the first one. And these are the studs that came in the bead box. This hammered stud that has the loop at the bottom. This is the first earring that we'll be making. So I have a flathead pin, and I'm going to be using spacer beads from my own stash. So I'm gonna have a spacer, English cut howlite bead, spacer. And that is the simple pattern, and this is how I make a loop. I'm going to go in with my round nose pliers just above that top spacer, and I'm going to bend it just like this. I don't have a specific degree of angle, just kind of bend it like this, and then bend it back with my fingers. And you see that start of the loop. I'm going to go in with my cutters. You want to make sure you hold on to that tail or it will go flying. And then I'm going to put the earring stud that came in the box, I'm going to put it on that loop right there before I close it. And I'm going to go in there at the top with my round nose pliers and close that loop, just like that. And there you have it, my first pair. On to the next one. I'll be using the large flat spacer that came in the bead box, that swirl design on it, one of the 8mm howlite beads, bead caps from my own stash, and then of course pins and an ear wire from my own stash. So I'm going to start by making each of the components and then putting them together. So at the bottom I'm going to use a flathead pin, have bead cap facing up, howlite bead, bead cap facing down, just like that. So now I'm going to hold those in place, go just above it with my round nose pliers, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters, and then I'm going to close that loop. And when I have a bead cap, I like to close that loop by tucking it into the top of the bead cap, like that. And then I'm going to take the loop, put the spacer bead on it, and I want to try to get the loops facing the same direction. So this loop at the bottom, I'm going to line up with my finger and then go in at the top, bend it back, go in with my cutters, and at the top of this one, I'll go ahead and put that ear wire on there and close that loop, just like that. And then at the bottom, I'm going to take the loop that was already there and open it just a smidge, put that bottom component on it, and close it right back. And there's my second pair. On to the next one. All right, so here is the next one. So for these, we're going to be using the crystal faceted pear beads, and then bead caps from my own stash, and 5mm spacer beads. So we have a flathead pin, we have the spacer, pear bead, bead cap facing down, just like this. I'm gonna go in with my round nose pliers, just above, bend it back, go in with my cutters, put on the ear wire, and then I'm going to close that loop. And again, when I have that bead cap, I like to try to tuck into the top of that bead cap, just like that. All right, so here is this pair. On to the next one. All right, so here is the next one. And I'm using the small rondelles from the box and the leaf pendants from the box. They're actually quite light. So I'm gonna use a flathead pin, and I'm gonna make this component right here first. So I have 3mm spacer, rondelle, 3mm spacer. I go right above that spacer, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters, and then go back in with my round nose pliers and close that loop, just like that. And I'm using an 8mm jump ring. So I'm gonna take the jump ring and put it in the leaf, and I wanna make sure that the component is on the side of the leaf that has those grooves you can see right there. One side has the grooves and the other side is completely smooth. So I want the component on the side that has those grooves. And then for this one, I need to change the direction of the loop on the end of the ear wire. So here's how I do that. I take my chain nose pliers and I go to the point in the chain nose pliers where the entire loop is covered by the pliers, just like that. And then I try to hold as much of the ear wire as I can and just bend it until it's sideways like this. And it looks like I need to bend it just a little bit more, just like that. So that way, for the ear wire, the loop is going in the other direction. So now I pick the earring back up, and I want the loop on here to be in the direction where this is going to be facing out. So I want the loop to look like this. I know it's hard to see at this top-down angle. So I want it like this, and I'll just place it on there. So go in there with my other chain nose pliers and close that jump ring. All right, so here is this pair. On to the last one. All right, so here is the last one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing that I did with the ear wire on the other one and change the direction of the loop on the bottom, just like that. And for this, I'm using these connectors that came in the bead box and the Rolo chain that came in the bead box. And each one of these sections is the exact same length, which is 7 links. So I have 4 sections of 7 links. All right, so I'm gonna connect this to the side, the loop on the side of this, and close the link, just like that. So I have one just kind of hanging off of it right now. So I have another section. I'm gonna connect it to the same side, just like that, and close the link, just like that. So now I have two little 7 link sections hanging off, and I'm gonna do the same thing to this side and we'll meet back. All right, so now I have 2 sections on each side of these earrings. So we're now going to connect the top and the bottom. So first things first, we're gonna make the component. So I have a flathead pin, bead cap facing up, 8mm bead, bead cap facing down. And these are the Jasper faceted rounds that came from the bead box. So I'm gonna go just above the top of that bead cap, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters. Now here's where it gets fun. So I'm going to connect it to the section of chain that is on the bottom. So I'm gonna go to that last link right here, connect it, and then gonna be a little bit of finagling to get the last link on this side as well, just like that. So now I'm gonna go back in with my round nose pliers and close the loop. There we go, like that. Now we're gonna take the ear wire and open it just a smidge and put it through the last set of links on the other two on the top. Just like that. And close it back. All right, here is the last pair. So now I'm gonna set these all up on my display so we can see them better. All right, so here we go. Here are the 5 pairs of earrings that I made, and as I zoom into each one of them, I will say I really enjoyed it. I know this one right here in particular is tough to see because of course you have the gunmetal findings, but you can still see that hammered look on the studs for the earrings. I really like how they came out. I like how those simple spacer beads can really add to those English cut beads as well. And I did want to have a few pairs that were just a little bit more complicated, and you can see sometimes the more complicated pairs really aren't that complicated to make. But also, I like how even the more simple pairs can be really nice. So again, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you're interested in the Bargain Bead Box, head on over to their website. I'll have all the information in the description box below. And if you do, make sure you use my code KASI2. That's KASI2 for $2 off your first order from the website or your first month's box for the subscription. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like, leave a comment. I love reading the comments that I receive. You guys are so kind and you ask such intelligent questions. I definitely appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.